What's going on, man? I haven't done one of these in a long time. Since way back. Probably before COVID, probably 2019. Where I chime in and give my motherfucking thoughts on what I think is going on. And the harsh reality is we live in a brutal world. And it's more apparent now than it ever has been. Brutal. Live in a brutal world. It used to be a point in time where, and I can remember a point in time where we all kind of had the same ideals. You know, go to work hard, take care of your family, be cool to your neighbors, stay out the way, mind your business. If somebody gets killed, you show some empathy. Your politics were your politics. It wasn't something was spoken about. You know, you don't speak about it at work. Don't speak about it on the job. Politics and religion, I think, were the things that were kind of off limits, right? But now it's not that way anymore, right? Now with social media, everybody talks about whatever the fuck they want to talk about. And sometimes they're wild with their rhetoric. That being said, I don't think you're supposed to die for it, right? But what's happening now is it's just like, in general, people have lost a sense of values, a sense of morality, a sense of sensitivity, a sense of what it is to be a human, right? And it doesn't appear that it's going to get better. And not only that, it seems as though people that think like me, that kind of still hold on to those kind of core traditional values about, like I said, work, take care of your family, take care of your neighbors, be cool, keep your mouth shut, stay out the way, stay out of people's business, yada, yada, yada. Those people are actually, now it seems like, the minority. It seems like they're the minority. And the majority, and this is just how it appears to me, the majority of people now they like the fuck shit. They like the drama. They like to stir the pot. They typically are not thinking for themselves. There's a lot of regurgitating of ideas and posts and rhetoric. And it's just, all it does is continue to perpetuate division and perpetuate hate. I never use terms like left or right. I don't use those terms because just because a motherfucker did something doesn't mean he speaks for everybody that's on the left or on the right. I don't understand why people keep bringing this type of shit up. Yes, there's a lot of political undertones here, but we're talking about a motherfucking person who decided, I'm going to load up my rifle, climb on top of a roof, and shoot somebody. That's a person did that. That person made a choice to do that. So I just want to be clear when we start talking about people bringing up left and right when that happens. Don't bring up the left or right when that shit happens. They ain't got nothing to do with the left or right. That's a motherfucking person decided to do that shit. And he doesn't speak for me. He doesn't represent me. on either side of the aisle, whichever side of the aisle you claim to be on, when somebody does some stupid shit, on the opposite end, we don't blame, or we shouldn't blame, left or right for any of that shit, because that's stupid. It becomes this watering down of the actual issue. You feel me? So, but I don't believe this ends. These types of things will not end anytime soon. I don't believe it gets better anytime soon. I want it to. I have hope that it will. But we're vulnerable as a country. And as a civilization, we're vulnerable right now. More vulnerable than we care to believe. Here in America specifically, we have the luxury of watching the rest of the world burn. Ukraine, Russia, Gaza, you name it. We have the luxury of sitting on our couch watching these things occur without being close enough to feel it ourselves, right? And that's a dangerous place to be, because you start to get a little comfortable, like it can't happen to you. But it can most certainly happen to you. And that's where I believe this is going to go. Something big will happen on your doorstep, my doorstep. And what is it? I don't know. And what will happen after? I don't know. But there's going to have to be something that unifies, because we're so separated, we're so divided. And the last thing I could recall that truly unified us, ironically, was 9/11. So here we are on the anniversary of that day, and I'm saying this to you. Something big, something that hits on your doorstep is going to be the only thing that can essentially bring people together again. Because it's not me versus you. It's not me against the dude across the street. It's not me versus my fucking neighbor, bro. And that's what y'all motherfuckers fail to realize. You know, y'all are ready to motherfucking die over a political affiliation. Y'all are ready to go to war and jump up and down and jump on people's posts and say wild shit on the internet over your quote-unquote political affiliation and this, that, and the other. And the whole time, you're not even really stopping to say, yo, somebody died. People are dying. Not just this most recent event, but all over the place, bro. In all facets, in all areas. There's a lot of shit going on. It just so happened that this shit was captured live and in 5K. Just so happened that this dude is all over the internet already, right? He's a visual. He has a strong presence on the internet. So for this to happen on the internet, specifically about a topic that he was answering, which was about gun violence, very ironic, but tragic. And I got friends on both sides. I know people that saying, oh, he was a racist, and they're not necessarily coming right out and saying he deserved it, but they're implying. Nobody deserves to be shot in cold blood for speaking. If we're not allowed to speak, we should all be concerned, and we should all be worried, right? Because we should be able to speak and say what we want to say, and disagree with me, fine. You want to fight about it, fine. But nobody deserves to be sniped, from 200 yards away. Um, it's not right. No matter what you believe or no matter what you agree or disagree with. So it's just, we got to get over the bullshit, man. And we're not going to be able to do it. Because as I said before, the way I think about things is how a lot of us used to think about things. Somewhere along the line, the balance was shifted. And now you have a bunch of fucking idiots. There's a lot more idiots out here, and they're spewing their ideology and they're regurgitating other idiots' ideology. And now we've gotten to a point where the balance of idiots versus people that have common sense and common dignity and common humanity, it's imbalanced, and you can hear it. If you listen to your circles, man, listen to the people that you talk to in and around your circles. I hear more people talking about leaving the country than I ever have. I want to move here. I want to move there. I want to get out of here because it's a shit show, right? Why is it a shit show? Because you look around and you realize that, whoa, I thought everybody kind of was thinking on the same level about humanity and life and things that are important. But come to find out, no. There's a lot of motherfuckers that think some wild shit, and half of these motherfuckers you went to school with. You know what I'm saying? Half of these motherfuckers you might work with. And they really support some wild shit and say wild shit and post wild shit. So it's a lot to handle. It's a lot but you have to realize, with that being said, is that we're in a different place. And what you might believe to be common sense, rational ways of thinking just may not be the norm anymore. You are the exception to the rule now. In my opinion, that's how it feels. I feel like the idiots are outnumbering those of us who see things rationally. And so what do you do with that information? Well, you have to make an adjustment. You have to adjust. You can't just keep living blindly thinking, okay, well, everybody will pick it up. They'll pick up the pace. They'll fall back in line. They will, see things in the proper way at some point. No, they're not. They believe what they believe wholeheartedly, and it's blatant. They're blinded by propaganda on the internet. They're blinded by people that they follow. They're blinded by hatred. And again, these are folks that you live next door to, that you went to school with, that you work with, go to school with. You'd be surprised. I mean, I'm not even surprised anymore. I used to be surprised. But now it's apparent that we are having to adjust to a new world where these types of things and this type of thinking and the way people are insensitive and the way people react to tragedy, react to conflict, it's fucked up, right? And you're looking for a motherfucker, you're looking to your left and right. Do you see this shit? Do you see this shit? Do you see what this motherfucker's saying? I mean, is anybody going to say anything? Nobody's going to say anything. Nobody's going to say anything because the shift is apparent. The shift has happened. And now we are, especially when you are being led by a person who says whatever the fuck they want to say, right? I don't go back and forth with people about our president. The facts of the matter are the things that people love about our president are the same things that are harmful. They like that he says and does whatever the fuck he wants. So people that support Trump like that about him. But on the flip side, because there's always a flip side, on the flip side, the things that he says and does are harmful. And they create an environment for division, period. Two things can be factual at the same time. So you can like him for being outspoken and being whatever the fuck you want to call it. But you also have to understand that he's creating an environment for wild, outlandish speech and things and rhetoric to be, accepted. And I could have swore we weren't going to go down that road again, but we did. And that just goes to prove my point is that regardless of what you think, half of the population of the country that you live in rocks with this type of shit. I don't rock with certain shit. It's not how I roll. I don't get down like that. I'm compassionate. I show empathy. I want to raise my family. I want to make some money. I want to enjoy my life. I want to stay out the way. I want to stay out people's business. I want people to stay out my motherfucking business. And that's how it should be. It's not how it is. So you must adjust. You got to reevaluate things and stay safe. And stay the fuck off people's pages. Stop saying stupid shit over the internet because the shit that happens on the internet spills over onto real life. Right? And that's what we're seeing. The biggest and most destructive thing that I believe we've seen as a species was not meteors hitting the fucking dinosaurs, was not the fucking plague, was not the fucking coronavirus. The biggest shit that's the most devastating thing to hit humanity has been social media, unfortunately. And we're going to look back at this time maybe decades from now and realize how social media and the ability to spew shit 24 hours a day, 7 days a week has ripped us apart as a civilization and as a culture and as a people. But addiction is real. We're addicted to this shit now. We all like to see the train wreck. But you need to understand and see it for what it is. And once you see it for what it is, you can adjust accordingly and try to live a peaceful life. So, yeah, that was a long-ass rant. But yeah, what it is, Mike. I'll catch y'all motherfuckers on the flip side.